Well, the start of September is the best time of the year to put your house on the market. That's according to analysis of various key factors by online estate agency eMoov. I'm joined now by the CEO of eMoov, Russell Quirk, to explain more. Well, firstly, Russell, why is September the best time to put your house on the market?
Yeah, hi. There's a number of reasons that seem to sort of conspire whereby this time of year we consider the best time. So first of all, there's a question of traffic on the major websites like Rightmove, Zoopla and so on. September actually is the second biggest and busiest month for buyer search traffic than any other, January being the other busy month. So September's very, very good in terms of actual buoyancy with regard to people looking. And also then, if you look at the amount of time it takes to sell a property, which on average according to Rightmove is about 65 days, via eMoov actually it's 55 days. If you look at that, where that takes you from the beginning of September, it takes you up to about Christmas. Christmas is, I guess, what you'd call a sort of natural cut-off time, a natural threshold for people, buyers and sellers, if they're involved in a property transaction, want to get done, completed and moved by Christmas. So that's the sort of the second reason. Third reason is school admission deadlines. Now, most schools cut off their intake in about February time. So, of course, if you're not marketed by about September time, given the Christmas slowdown as well, if you haven't sold by November, December, it means that you're going to miss that deadline to get your kids into school. So, obviously, if you have kids at secondary school age or coming up to secondary school age, means that that can really be an issue. They're the main reasons. The other one, believe it or not, despite the weather that we've had over the last 3 weeks, is weather. Our research shows that 43% of people prefer the summer as a time where they think it's best to buy or sell a property. So, lashing down with sleet and snow in the middle of February is unsurprisingly not so appealing for a buyer or a seller. So there's a myriad of reasons, but it means that literally around about the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th of September is by far the best time to be selling your property.
So when you say the best time, are you talking about it's going to take less time to actually sell the property? Are you going to get a better price for the property? What's the better here that we're talking about?
So it could be all of those things. So, naturally, if there's this coiled spring of anticipation, if you like, from buyers, if there's more activity, if there's pressure on buyers and sellers to sort of be completed and concluded over the next sort of 2 to 3 months or so, it means that there will be extra buoyancy, and that could lead to you selling quicker, and it certainly could lead to a better price than, let's say, if you were to list, in the depths of December or January. It could be economically more viable for you for sure.
So if we flip that then to people buying houses, would that mean that they're better to hold off from actually buying around this time, wait until you say the sort of depths of winter, from that economic perspective?
I guess, that's a good point. There's a certain logic to that, but the problem is there'll also be less properties on the market, so less choice. So maybe not. You've got to find a balance. So you might think you can go out and bag a bargain by, making an offer on something on Boxing Day. It's a question of choice, and you really want to find an environment where obviously there's lots of properties coming on the market, so that suits buyers too. And traditionally September's very, very good, very, very busy. As I say, once the kids have gone back, holidays are finished, a lot of people will now start to list their homes.
So I guess in terms of those people who do take, this on board and they market their house now, put it on the market, what advice do you have for them to take advantage of this time?
There's a few things that sellers should do to be sensible, because obviously, sellers are competing. They're competing with other people doing the same thing, often another house in the same street and so on. So there's a lot of obvious stuff, which is, look, make sure the house is presentable, make sure you declutter it, make sure you take dogs out of the house for viewings and so on. But I think the best bit of advice I can ever give, and that this applies no matter what the market, and it is something that's ignored, I'm afraid, by some sellers, is do price realistically. Now, no matter how nice your home, the adage is in estate agency circles, every seller we ever deal with, their house is the best one in the street as far as they're concerned, and that's fine. But having a 6x6 conservatory or freshly painted walls or a cleaner kitchen or an extra parking space will not necessarily add 30 or 40% to the value over and above next door that sold 6 months ago for a particular figure. So do your homework. Don't necessarily believe, certainly not the highest valuation you get from the estate agents that come through the door to give you that estimate. Do your own research on Rightmove, on Zoopla, HM Land Registry, Home Track. There's lots of online resources out there now. And make sure that, if an agent comes around and tells you £30,000 or £40,000 more than you thought, it's probably just designed to flatter you into instructing that agent on false pretences.
Yeah, and we all do get flattered, I think, when it comes to things like our houses. They're quite personal. Russell, where can people go for more information?
Yeah, so have a look at our website, which is eMoov.co.uk, which is spelled eMoov.co.uk.
Fantastic. Russell Quirk from eMoov, thank you.